Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of After the Fall, our post-apocalyptic role-playing game here on Scryer Vision. I am your storyteller this evening, Ryan. Not a very creative name like some of our characters, but hey, what can you do? With me, as always, we have the members of our yet-to-be-named party. Starting with...
I am John. I play Isaac, the would-be mad scientist elf boy, and yeah.
I am Claire. I play Captain Nellie DeLance, who is our impulsive rebel who rules the waves, otherwise known as the pirate.
It tracks. I'm Quinn, creative seer who has awakened dreams, and we'll see if I have any cool dreams that get me into trouble, I guess. Seems to be my dreams have been some causers of problems as of late, so...
And I am Tyler. I play Corin, the lazy, tech-savvy dragonkin, who's not a bad shot with a gun.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I just got to post something here in chat real quick because Aaron made a dad joke, which was delightful. Somebody said that they are here, or they said, I'm here. And she responded with, hi here, I'm Aaron. I feel like I should take experience away for that, but...
No! I should gain experience. What do you mean?
No.
So you take 2 intelligence damage.
There you go.
Ah, come on.
Let's all be the line between giving inspiration and taking XP away is almost non-existent. It's just a dotted line.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. If you have not been watching, I'll give you a quick rundown of what you've missed going into our 4th episode entitled 2 Weeks. That's the 4th 2. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 concluded last week as our heroes found a truck in the woods suspended over a gorge, found a grenade on that truck that turned out to be magic, decided to go back the next day, but found out that some bullies they had fought on their way to the truck the first day were missing. School got canceled and they decided, hey, this is a great time for us to go sneak off into the woods with these missing kids and raid that truck for supplies. But on the way, they encountered a band of goblin gunners who were in possession of the missing bullies. Well, 2/3 of the missing bullies. After a daring fight that was mainly explosives and fire, cannot understate that enough, it was 90% boom and burn. You managed to rescue the 2 bullies, who seemed pretty grateful. You did lose your goblin ally in the process when a door blew up and kind of slammed into him. But yeah, you made it back to town. You sadly did not get back to the truck. And you managed to kind of win over the approval of the town, but the ire of your parents, who have grounded you for 2 weeks. So, we will be picking up with some little vignettes here as I ask you all, for the last 2 weeks, what have your characters been up to? Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Nope,
All right, John.
Nope, John's going. John's going.
Whoever has the most extensive list.
Well, that's probably mine. But John should go.
I mean,
I don't want to go first.
Basically, for the past 2 weeks, have probably been perfectly fine for Isaac because he gets to go to school, come home, do his homework, work on gadgets and doohickeys and play around and try to study magic, and then and not have to go on any crazy adventures. Gets that sometimes Corin's around and they talk science and magic and stuff.
Are you sure that Isaac's not a hobbit?
I mean, he may as well be. He's a hobbit in everything but size.
So tell me about the gadgets that Isaac's been working on. What sort of stuff has he been trying to create? Because he made that glowing pocket watch last time.
Yeah, he made the glowing pocket watch. Eventually, Corin brought up the idea of the possibility of firing bullets that then do the shatter effect upon hitting a target. And so that's going to take some finagling. It's going to be a long-term goal. But in the meantime, he wants to try and figure out some other things. Namely, like how his pike is like two parts, and he has to twist them to make the whole thing. He's thinking of how to basically magically collapse it, and then it just comes back out.
Okay. That's cool. That's a collapsing pike.
Mm-hmm.
Not the fish.
Not yet, at least.
So the shatter gun, the collapsing pike. Anything else?
Probably some kind of magic detector. That's another long-term goal. Something that picks up and maybe like enhances his innate ability to understand magic, but basically like, is this thing magic? It's picking up some kind of magical signature and then eventually upgraded to the point where it's like, oh, it's this kind of magic.
Okay.
So another long-term goal for him.
John and I should have talked before this session because he's said a lot of things that I'm going to be bringing back up.
Well, why don't we start there then with one of the days over the 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a pretty routine grounding. You go to school. If you have a job, you go do your job, and then you come home, and you're kind of confined to home or your room, depending on how permissive your parents are. So, Corin, you work at the shop underneath Isaac's house. That is your job with the Castle Guard Auxiliary. So, there would be plentiful time for you two to actually still interact and talk. Do you want to chat about any of these ideas?
We can chat about a couple of them. There's one that we're going to have to wait till my turn because it's also after I talk to someone else.
Okay.
That I would bring it up. But the couple of things I would want to chat about him with is one, plans for basically while we're working. I pull out my pistol and I'm just like, so you're the magic person. I'm more tech. So I'd like you to help me enchant this to where I can choose to shoot bullets that cause the shatter effect that I've seen you and Quinn do.
Yeah, and then as soon as he says that, gears just start going through his head like, yes.
Now, here's my thing. I initially thought enchanting bullets. However, I feel like it might be better suited if we enchant the weapon so that the bullets fired would gain the effect.
Right.
I've read up on things, stories in the past and stuff, and while I don't do magic, I do try to keep up a little bit with it. I know enchanting something is possible, but I can't do it. And I've seen you work with things.
Nah, and Isaac immediately starts thinking like, well, we couldn't. Do we need to enchant the handle itself or the barrel, or should we try to enchant specifically the hammer, so that the hammer would trigger the effect of the bullet, and then when it lands, the shatter effect. And so, like, he's already going through in his own head, like,
when he asks these questions, I ask him. I go, how does it work when you enchant when you cast shatter on an object? How does it work? And I feel like that would give us some insight into what we should enchant on the pistol. do you just touch the object and infuse it with that power?
That's the thing. I don't even have to touch the object. Because when we were fighting the goblins, I just focused all my attention on that stained glass window to the point where the very foundations of the molecules holding it together completely broke apart, and its whole structure just shattered. So what we try to have to do is give the gun the ability to enhance the bullets to magically affect the bullet structure, so that once it hits its target, that's when the shatter effects takes up.
Well,
but not when the hammer hits the bullet in the gun.
If that's the case, then, and I actually pull out the pistol and kind of open it up and pull back the hammer, and I kind of show him how it works, essentially, knowing he knows how a gun works, but I'm more trained with the intricacies of it, and I go, we're going to want to enchant the hammer then, if that's how it works. This will be the last thing that it touches before it shoots it out, so we'll need to enchant the hammer. Also, we'll probably want to enchant it in a way where, so that it doesn't go off in the gun or something, we'll probably want to enchant it in a way to where I actually have to, I guess, mentally activate it or not.
That, or make the enchantment
for the
through
DM,
the barrel of the gun, so
for the,
that
for the DM, what I mean by that is something where I have to spend intellect, like 2 intellect points to shoot a shatter bullet.
Yeah,
otherwise it's broken, because I'm just like, haha, I have infinite shatter bullets. Like something where when I choose to, it's like cost 2 intellect points and you activate a shatter bullet when you fire or something. That's what I mean by that. But yeah, I definitely think enchanting the hammer with the effect to when it touches the bullet, touches the primer, it activates the shatter, so that when it shoots it out and hits whatever my target is. Because it'll also be nice if I accidentally miss but still hit behind the target, there still might be a little bit of a shatter effect.
Basically instant shrapnel.
Also, this is not something I'm going to be using all the time, but I do think this would be nice in a hitch. I'm thinking about upgrading my rifle, but not magically, so I'll work on that myself. But this is definitely more... I definitely am going to need your help with this. I know the ins and outs of the gun, but you know the ins and outs of magic.
Oh, as much as anyone in this town does.
And you know, you're a little bit... I'm very smart, but you're way more advanced in magic than most people that are in this town. The only one who might be more, the only one who is more is Quinn.
Yeah, and Quinn's not going to be able to full on enchant a gun to shatter.
No, you got to have a little bit of tech knowledge. Though, again, after what I've saw, she doesn't need it. I need my guns.
All right. So
go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna have you do a roll, but if you're gonna keep going, go.
I was just gonna move on to the only other thing I would want to discuss with him until it's my turn. So if you want me to make a roll for this one, we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, let's do that. So you two are kind of working together. You've got a workshop. So to enchant this gun in a way that nobody has ever done before and is very unique, usually that would be a difficulty 9 task. But you've got the workshop that's going to lower it a level, and I honestly think you came up with a really good, solid plan for it, so that's going to lower it a level. So it's at a 7 to start with. I'll give you a help action. I don't care which one of you does the roll, but that'll lower it another level then from a 7 to a 6. So we're at an 18 to just outright succeed on this thing right now. Do you have anything else you would like to try to apply to it?
So if it's at a 6 with the help action, does that mean the person who's going to make the roll is the only person now that can kind of take away from it with their skills? Or can we both still add things to try and...
You can still both try to add things. I will consider allowing them.
I've got my magic training. I feel like that would help give me the idea of what exactly I would need to do to enchant the gun.
Okay.
And then I do have I had for the skill set, I had science machinery. I don't know if that would qualify for just to understand the mechanics of the working mechanics of the gun better.
I don't think for a firearm that would quite qualify. I think that's more like lab equipment.
Okay, so lab analysis. No, that's not gonna help.
Tyler, did you have something?
I have a couple things, and it'll obviously be like which ones you think are better. Number one, I think the one that would have to be is that I'm trained in firearms. My knowledge of firearms is essential in this, essentially. I almost want to say I would say my engineering or tinkering, because while it's still a gun, I mean, we are kind of messing with it to have it do something that it wasn't made to do, essentially.
Yeah, and I've got that as well, so one of us can use that ability.
Why don't you use Tinker then? Because my other thing was I do have the predictive equation, which costs me 2 intellect points, but that's if I observe an object. The next time I interact with it, the difficulty goes down by 1. I have to spend some time looking, and I feel like I would spend a lot of time examining the gun. And
All right. So that leaves us at a 4, I believe, between everything.
Okay.
Down from a 9. So
should I roll because it's my gun, or should you roll because you're magic?
I think it should. I'll roll because I'm using 2 of my own skills, my personal skills, the training and the tinkering. And then through your observation, you can then use that. And on if I don't happen to make it this roll, then you can do the next roll by using that observation.
Yeah, I guess since it's just taking 2 weeks, I guess we have 2 chances to do it before the gun breaks, and I just have to completely repair it and try this again in a month or so, I guess. So I guess you go first.
All right.
So it's got to be a 12 or better.
13.
Okay, so we're going to be doing this again tonight, where you just make it. All right, good to know.
That's the only way we play this game, apparently.
We like living on the edge.
No, we don't.
Fair enough.
We don't. We just have to.
We don't. It's forced upon us.
So with a 13, it takes the better part of a few days to really get the equations down, figure out what materials you need, organize your supplies, figure out what you need to go purchase and steal, and just get everything to where you need it to be. Finally, one day, just before Corin's about to go home, Isaac, you bring out the gun, you bring out the tools, and you start to work on it. Corin, you're observing, making sure that everything's looking right, and you think you've got it. You're pretty sure the enchantment might be holding on to it, but without testing it, it's hard to say.
I can't. I look at it and I'm like, well, we can't test it in the shop, so we'll just have to test it outside at some point.
Right.
Live field test.
Yay.
Let's go find that bear.
Oh God.
Hey, snake friend. We got a surprise for you.
Indeed, we do.
All right. So, having successfully done that over the course of a week here, Isaac, you are kind of free to pursue some more of your projects. Which one would you rather do, the collapsing pike or the magic detector?
I feel like the collapsing pike would be... Like, I feel like the magic detector may take a bit more working, just because I'd probably need to tinker with, say, some kind of other meter, like maybe I don't know if we'd have like an old Geiger counter or something like that, or some kind of measuring device, and then tinker with it to make it pick up magic.
As a matter of fact, as you're walking home from school one day, you are passing by one of the scavenging outfits' windows, and they have 3 Geiger counters. sitting in the window.
Okay, so I'd probably pick up one and then have that ready to work on for later. But I think I want to do the collapsing pike because I feel like that would be a it would be a much easier, and then I'd have to be out in the field. So having the magic detector wouldn't really do me any good sitting at home. I'd probably but next time I go out, collapsible pike, and then ready for battle.
So it takes a while for you to kind of come up with some designs and stuff for it, and you are looking at old science magazines, and there's an ad that catches your eye for collapsible staffs. These little metal staffs that shrunk down to like 2-3 inches tall and then would shoot out to 5 to 6 feet long depending on what size you wanted. And you get the idea that maybe you could do something like that with your pike. So you're looking at it from an enchanting angle, but there's also some engineering involved, which means you're probably going to have to get Corin involved again.
Funny you should mention that. That was the other thing I was going to talk to him about.
So yeah, after that first week, the next time Corin's over after work, just before he's about to leave, I mentioned to him, by the way, are you familiar with collapsing staves?
Collapsing staves? They were Corin like spouts off some kind of like stuff that he's read in a book. He's just like, I mean, they weren't really common, but in certain historical settings, they made staffs that were indeed collapsible. You also see them a lot in fantasy stories and stuff. Why?
Well, you think we could do that with a pike?
Should be pretty easy, actually.
And then we set to it.
All right. Well, as you're getting your supplies and stuff gathered during your second week here, we're going to set the difficulty for this one again at a 7. So we're at a 21 or better on the dice. What are we applying towards this to get it to be not so impossibly high?
Probably the same thing, the magic training and the tinker, because I'm making the pike do something it wasn't supposed to do. And while part of it is engineering, part of it is also going to be the enchantment.
Okay.
I would use engineering for mine, and I could either use the predictive equation again, or I could actually use the fact that I'm also trained in pikes. So,
trained in pikes is for when you're trying to hit somebody with a pike.
Okay, then probably engineering and then the predictive equation. Like I take some time to study the pike and what we're working on.
Okay. So we're going to put it at a 4, and Isaac can roll whenever he's ready.
Here we go. 13 again. Just
Okay.
barely.
Jeez.
Just barely. Okay. So it takes a little bit of work, and your first attempt doesn't really work out. You actually kind of ruin the pike, but fortunately this is a pretty standard issue piece of kit, so you're able to quickly requisition a new one from the castle guard. Probably your father has several of them just laying around the garage, since it's a castle guard depot. You are able to, after a little bit of trial and error, you're able to figure out how to get these interlocking pieces to collapse and expand and lock into place using the enchantment. And your usually 10-foot long pike becomes a collapsible object that can get down to about a foot.
How sturdy is it? Like, is it pretty, like...
It does lose some of its durability when it's fully extended, but when the thing is collapsed down, the little 1-foot rod, essentially, it is very solid.
Dope.
Alrighty.
So all you have to do with that, and this one you're able to kind of test out. The first time you test it out in the garage, you actually put a hole in the ceiling. You take it outside, you're able to kind of expand and retract it, but it does cost you an intellect point to kind of engage the energy and summon or put it away.
Alrighty, sounds good.
All right. Anything else for Isaac?
I think that'll cover the majority of the 2 weeks.
Okay.
The rest of the time,
Sounds
he'll
good.
probably just devote to finishing up with school.
Working on homework. And yes, graduation is coming very soon, so final exams are pretty much... It's not something people paid much attention to. They're a cakewalk usually, depending on how much you paid attention in class. So some of you will do really well. Others may have a little bit more difficulty. Nell. So those will actually happen the week after the weekend of the Beck Club. So yeah, and then it's just another couple weeks till graduation and freedom. So we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and bounce over, since we've already done a little bit of Corin, let's go ahead and bounce over to either Nell or Quinn and get a little bit from the top half of the screen here.
I can go if you're not sure what you want to do yet. Well, I've got a few things in mind.
All right, what do you got?
The question is, she's technically grounded,
Mm-hmm.
but she's allowed to leave for school. And I don't know if her dad would be the type to try and secure some sort of guard to follow her around at this point.
Security detail.
He can't afford it.
Well, she's definitely focusing a lot on the upcoming race. She's been working with her boat, getting it ready, getting the ramshackle ready, finding more rope, and probably finding any excuse to not go home, but also trying not to actually cause trouble. So she's probably, if people allow her, hanging out at other people's houses, actually being helpful for once. So I don't know if the boys would let her help them in any way, but she might be around. But no, she's basically just mostly been avoiding home and working on her boat, getting it all set up and ready, and practicing, of course.
So Roger, Nell's father, will okay Nell spending time over at Quinn's house.
All right. Then she'll spend a lot of time at Quinn's house then.
Why, you don't like Dragonkin? What? What?
It's a little bit out of the way.
It's
I think
boys.
is why Roger
Right,
doesn't want to
I live far away.
Roger doesn't want me to leave the town. That being said, Nell has been exclusively referring to her dad as Roger. She has not been saying dad or father or anything like that
Mhm.
Roger.
since that night.
Roger.
So, but yeah, I guess just hanging out with Quinn and working on her boat. And maybe actually attending class. Who knows?
Okay.
Because I'm guessing Roger would probably at least ensure hey, did Quinn go into did Nell go into school?
Nell show up at work or show up at school?
Oh, there's definitely people doing that, reporting on Nell back to Roger. Maybe even Quinn. I don't know. But, yeah, he can't afford to have the castle guard follow you around 24/7, and they don't want to. So,
I don't think that's you. They don't want to do that with anybody, really.
It's true. Also, they're not really welcome in Breadseed, so...
True, that's...
So, Nell, what are you trying to accomplish by fixing the boat up, by getting it ready for the race? Like, what are we focused on doing?
I think just general improvements just to making it more maneuverable and faster.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what she could do, but and if she's able to get one of the get someone else to help out with that, she would try to engage either Corin or
Isaac.
Isaac, thank you.
There we go.
Sorry. If she's able to, she'd try to get one of them to help, but it sounds like they're pretty busy, so I don't know if they're
It would
able
be easier to get Isaac, I think. His parents are probably a bit more permissive than Corin's, but...
to. So she'd probably try to convince Isaac to help out with that.
All right. So, Isaac, are you willing to travel out to Breadseed to help Nelly with a class project?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, like,
after... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, at some point, one of the days while Corin and I were working on stuff, Nell will probably come up to me and say, "Hey, can you come help me out with something?" And I, say, "Yeah, sure. What do you need?" Yeah, and that's what I'm imagining, at least.
Something like that. She might be a little bit more forceful about it, but
While Nell's there, Corin asks her one question.
yeah,
You can breathe underwater, right?
I can. What do you need? You drop something?
No, more of an inquiry. I'm assuming you're able to take in water, oxygenate it, turn it into something breathable for yourself?
I show him my gills. Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that, yeah.
I'm working on something. And he just goes back to work without any more details.
She's annoyed now.
He knows.
That's the point.
I mean, he genuinely wanted to know if his theory about how it works was correct. He was pretty sure, but also came with the added benefit of, like, now she'll know I'm working on something, but I'm not going to tell her why.
Rude.
Alrighty.
Does she come
So,
in
yeah,
while we're working on the gun, actually?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, it would have been in that first week.
What you doing? Nothing. What's up? What do you need?
I mean, I would tell her, just like, what you doing? I'd be like, we're trying to get this. Do you remember what Quinn and Isaac did with the rocks? Made them explode?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my bullets
You
to do
could-
that.
Not the gun, though. You're not gonna make the gun explode?
No. I hold that in my hand.
Cool. So,
I just got work.
Isaac, I need your little help with the project, if you're able.
Yeah, sure. What do you need?
The river race is coming up, and I need my ship to go faster.
You hear Corin sigh and groan.
This is the last one that I get to participate in, so it's very important that we school all these scrubs.
I don't see why not.
Awesome. She'll steer him away then. Go work on the boat.
And now we know why it took so long to get the gun made.
There you go.
While he's gone, Corin just works on the car.
Okay. Corin.
Or also probably utilizes some of the tools that Isaac has that when Isaac's gone, he'll be like, I can use these now.
Imagine Isaac probably brings some of those with him.
Probably. He doesn't bring the whole shop, though.
Yet.
Collapsible shop.
I feel like I can see
Nice,
Isaac...
that's what we
Pocket
need.
shop.
I can see Isaac going to take like something, and Corin's just like, leave that here, I need it. It's like, it's my shop. It's like, it's your father's shop, and I work here, actually.
Well, so Isaac, you and Nell head back to Breadseed, grabbing one of the carriages that are heading that direction. And as you get there, you've got a few hours of daylight left, and you're familiar with the ramshackle. It's not a very large boat, but it is very small, maneuverable, and built for one person to pilot in very tight corridors. The Becklop, which is a race that's been going on a quarterly basis, spring, summer, and fall quarterly basis for the last 5 years, has been something that your friend group has participated in a number of times. Nell has won a couple times in the past, but the last couple times, the defending champ remains the same. His name is Bodie Lewis.
O.T. Lewis?
No, Bodie. But I can see why you would be confused.
I mean, someone's made that joke.
Yes. They call him Bodie the Boat Lewis.
Bodie McBoatface.
We're gonna show Bodhi who's boss this time. Dethrone him. You with me?
I'm just in it to tinker around with the boat.
So what
Well,
you're trying to make it more sleek, aerodynamic and stuff. Does
Yeah.
Isaac have any ideas?
Isaac is probably thinking, if it's possible to maybe upgrade the engine. If not, maybe slightly enchant the propellers to spin a little bit fast, to spin faster, or maybe try to make the boat itself a little more hydrodynamic, so it will go faster through the water without being too hard to steer.
Just cast a go fast spell on it.
But it's not there's not just a go fast spell. There's a whole process. It's very complicated.
Okay. So you get to work. You're kind of looking at the motor, taking it apart. It's not a very big one. It's essentially a souped up trolling motor, but given the environment that you're going to be in and the maneuverability you need for the craft, it's pretty much what everybody uses. But Isaac, you're starting to think about, well, what if we supercharged this? What if we put a little magical horsepower into it? We're going to fuse some magic into this thing.
There are these old fables about a great racer named Dominic Toretto. The greatest gift of all was family, but it helped that they had vehicles powered by this magical elixir known as Nos. I don't think there's anything left of it, but that's the idea.
So you're going to attempt to create a NOS boost for Nellie's boat.
I want to put in my resignation for the show.
We
Denied.
definitely need a NOS boost. So it'd be like
Veto.
a temporary sudden burst of speed.
Yes.
That
Weird
sounds
dictatorship
wicked
that we're in.
awesome.
Can't even leave.
Oh, jeez. I'm trying to come up with another
What do you
pun.
need?
I can't. So you're able to kind of put together a design over a couple of days, Isaac, and then you kind of come back out to give it a shot with the tools and equipment that you need. Nellie had to scrounge up some canisters and stuff that you think will be able to hold the charge, because you're essentially building this from scrap. So we're going to set the difficulty to start at a 6.
Okay. Then I guess the same usual skill set. My magic training when it comes to the now, is it enchantment or is it just tinkering?
It's both.
So yeah, use both skill sets.
All right, so there's your 2 skills. That brings it down.
I would like to apply, of course, my sailing small boats. I think would give me some idea of how to operate the motor, which might be helpful.
Okay.
And I'm specialized in that, so that's 2.
All right.
And since we're creating something NOS adjacent, I don't know if this is applicable, but would my knowledge in history be at all helpful, or is that not relevant?
No,
So you do get the
I
reference
know
that he
something about
makes.
ancient.
no. Nell only manages to get the reference.
Otherwise,
Yeah, Nell's like, I think
don't
there was one where they
think-
went to space.
yeah. Apart
So-
from that, I don't think there's anything else I have, but I want to be fair. I do have a... What's the thing that makes things... What's it called when it makes it difficult? More difficult?
Inability.
My inability, tasks involving patience, willpower, etc.
Yeah, I'll qualify that.
Just to be fair,
So you got it down
patience,
to a
willpower,
2,
and discipline.
but Nellie's
that's an
inability is going to
inability.
raise it to a 3. So we're at a 3, which is a 9 or better. And I'm actually going to have you, since you're collaborating on this in kind of different waves, if you'll pardon the pun, we're going to have you both roll.
Ooh.
That's why I don't let her work on my stuff.
Just quickly checking to see if there's anything that else I can use, but no, there's nothing else. Alright,
Hey, look what I rolled.
Is that a 20?
oh, that's another
That's a 1.
That's the opposite.
That's
Okay.
a lovely little 1. And
Did
we
you
are going to set that
explode
dice
my
in
boat?
timeout. That die is going to go into timeout for right now.
Spend an experience. I'll
All
spend
right.
an experience.
So
Well, who has more? No, you only have the 1. I have 4. So I'll spend one of mine.
all right, toss it on the table. I'll take that. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Cypher system, the experience points that they earn can also be spent to re-roll dice, in addition to a number of other things. So let's go ahead and re-roll that 1, because otherwise the NOS was going to blow up.
There goes the boat, and there goes
goes
Isaac
the whole
and
episode.
Nell and
A limb.
oh hey, 18.
That's much better. In fact, that gets you a minor effect. And then we need Nell's roll.
Natural 20.
Oh
Gets you a major effect.
The greatest
All right.
boat ever known to man.
yeah, the
Super
boat
NOS.
can now turn invisible.
It has 2 charges.
I'm going to actually say it's got 3 charges. And it's got this weird look to it because you've got the engine and then you've got these essentially what look like scuba canisters on the sides that are sitting almost exactly at the water line. And it's a weird look because nobody's got that. But yeah, you kind of take it out for a little test jaunt. You're
Test drive, yeah.
cruising across the lake. Is Isaac on the boat with Nell?
I would assume so,
She would
Okay.
make him.
just to make sure that everything runs smoothly.
It's not the smoothest ride out on the lake here on this thing. It's a very small boat. You're kind of up on the bow. Nell's back with the motor. And then, Nell, you get ready to try the NOS. Is it a pedal? Is it a valve? How'd you
I
rig this?
feel like it would be a button in the handle. Like she'd be steering the motor like this, and it's just a button to push on the handle.
A detonator.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. So the second you hit that, the boat just lurches forward. You hear the wood creak ever so slightly under the strain of the additional speed. And while you were going maybe 10 miles an hour across the lake, you're suddenly going 30, 40 miles an hour, tearing over the waves, just skipping over the surface. And John, Isaac is just kind of holding on for dear life.
Yep.
Nell is just having a blast. Nell, it takes you a little bit to get it figured out, but you are able to sort of dial in how to maneuver with the speed boost. And you're pretty sure that with the enchantments and stuff you did, it recharges over the course of a day. So you'll have 3 speed boosts available to you during the race. And you're able to actually maneuver with them. Good for you on a natural 20, and good for John on 18. That's,
I need to go talk to
good.
Quinn now.
So Isaac heads home, and now you go over to Quinn's house.
Quinn, I need to show you this. Also bring your paint.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Quinn to the ramshackle. I'm going to explain what no, I'm not gonna explain anything. I'm just gonna make her get in.
Does Quinn trust this person enough to get in the boat?
Quinn gets seasick, so she's always hesitant to ride in the boat.
Oh, that's right. No, I forgot about that.
Yeah. One of the things that Quinn's been working on is probably trying to come up with some sort of seasickness concoction that she could take so that she doesn't just vomit all over everybody during the race. Because it's happened before. She's vomited in the boat before, for sure. So that was probably something she was probably trying to come up with, some sort of herbal remedy or something that she could either drink or dab on her wrists or something to help keep her from getting seasick.
So a Dramamine ointment.
Something like that. Maybe an ointment, or just ingest something. She could just put some droplets in her mouth or something.
Edibles.
Yeah. Something to calm her tummy.
It's a vaporizer.
Yeah. She's got a vape. Yeah.
We get it, Quinn. You vape.
All right. So before we jump into Quinn's boat trip, let's have Aaron make a dice roll to see how well that research is going.
Might I offer something to her? If she's mentioned it. Nell might suggest talking to Roger for help in that, since he's kind of an expert in plants.
I mean, Quinn's mom is also an expert in plants.
That's true. Consult the old people.
Yeah, does he know anything as far as medicinal purposes? I mean, my mom's more the plant sense and things like that. She's not necessarily...
He works actively with the poppy. I don't really know what he does with it.
I mean, I could talk to him. Sure. She's just a little taken aback by the fact that you would even recommend that she talk to your dad.
Roger, don't.
Yeah, well, no, she didn't say that. That's just in her head. She's just like, she actually telling me to go talk to her dad right now?
She's basically treating her dad like he's a stranger or basic acquaintance at the moment. Nell's been very strangely detached lately.
So, Quinn, does Nell go with you to see Roger, or is this a Quinn-only expedition?
Do you take me to see Roger?
Nell would happily deliver her to Roger's office and then stay outside.
So Nell takes Quinn to one of the large greenhouses on the edge of town, surrounded by fields of crimson poppies. Going inside, there are racks and racks of plants and herbs and all sorts of things. all over the place. It's very humid and warm. But you see Nell's father, Roger, working with his sleeves kind of rolled up, gardening gloves on, as he seems to be checking some plants over for something. You're not sure what.
But she'll just kind of awkwardly cough.
What? Oh, hey! You're Rosemary's girl, right? Quinn.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, what can I do for you, miss?
Nell said that you might have some ideas that could help me. I get really bad seasickness when I'm helping out with the boat and riding in it, and I was hoping to come up with some sort of
The boat.
remedy to keep myself from throwing up, because it's fun, and like the wind in the hair is great, but then like my stomach sinks, and then it raises, and then it sinks again, and then like it's just this motion inside me, and then I can't keep anything in, and that's just a waste of snacks.
I get. Oh, that would be it'd be bad. Hey, sounds like you could use some Dramamine.
Is that a one of those old-timey things that existed?
Yeah, it's medicine.
Okay.
We make some newer medicines here, but I'm not entirely sure how to make that. I'll tell you what. Let's go see if there's any in the storeroom. He kind of leads you to one of the side buildings. Doesn't seem to notice Nell lingering outside, goes through a different door. And in that side building, there are boxes and boxes of medications inside of pretty nicely preserved boxes. The door is very well locked, and you can tell just by looking at the structure that the walls are reinforced. So it is definitely not an easy place to break into, but he gets a little key out from under his shirt and opens it up, and then does a padlock and a combo lock and everything too. And he's kind of rooting around inside, and we're going to go ahead and have you roll to see if he finds this, and we're just going to set it as a difficulty 3, so 9 or a better, he's going to find something for you.
Okay. Come on, Roger. Don't fail me now. Oh, that's a 16.
He, in fact, does find a little box of Dramamine patches. So, okay, all you gotta do is just put one of these on before you get on a boat, preferably like a half hour before, but it should do the trick. Might make you a little drowsy, but just, don't use more than one at a time. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
What do I owe you?
Oh no, it's fine. You're helping out Nell, so just tell your mom I said hi, okay?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll let her know. Thank you. This is I more than I could ask for. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, don't worry about it.
She'll head out.
Quinn now has 12 Dramamine patches.
Heck yeah.
And as you're heading down the familiar route with Nell to the ramshackle, you get the idea that maybe you should put one of those on.
So, Nell, I got all this paint. Did you do something with the boat? Are you ready? Did you decide what you want me to paint on the side of the boat?
Yeah, we did something with the boat, and it needs a little bit of a repaint, a little bit of a rename.
Okay.
And I'd like to show you why. So hop in.
Hop into the. We're taking the
hop
boat
in right in the
out.
front. Yep. I'm gonna show you what we did.
Okay. Okay.
Isaac, helped me out a whole bunch.
Are there any seatbelts or anything in this boat?
There's
No.
ropes.
There's rope, yeah, there's plenty of rope. There's definitely no
Okay.
seatbelt.
Quinn makes note in her head. Make safety harnesses for boat. Like she's like, I could make some out of some like crochet some out of some materials or something, like just something to like strap people in that's like looks a little cooler than rope. Like she's thinking about it now. She's like, oh, you know what?
Crochet some seatbelts.
Yeah, maybe we should put some seatbelts in this thing. So she'll very tentatively sit in one of the seats.
Okay. So you get the one by the center of the boat as Nell pulls it out from its little hidden dock area. You're cruising along the lake at what you think is top speed, Quinn.
Oh,
10 miles an hour. You're just kind of bouncing with the waves.
oh no.
Seems great.
Oh no.
Watch this.
Hey,
Damn.
Queen, guess what?
The boat takes off. You get pushed backwards a little bit. I actually am going to need Quinn, I need you to make a speed defense roll to maintain yourself on the boat.
I feel like this is that scene from the first Men in Black where he's like, do you remember the little red button that I told you never to push? Yes. And he's just like, push the little red button.
Yes.
It's that tunnel scene, except on the water.
Yes. Okay. Oh, that fell out of the box. Let me roll that again. Speed? I
Yep,
think.
speed
What the
defense.
hell
Yeah.
with all of this?
I don't know.
Ha-
I
Did
don't
you
have
already
like
roll?
any edge or anything. Yeah, I would do, that doesn't matter. I was
would
like, oh
exert
yeah.
I would exert some effort.
I don't have like, cause that, cause I don't have any edge
You can still exert effort.
and speed
Yep. It just costs you 3 points instead of 2.
of 3 pool points. Is
Yep.
what you mean?
That's right.
Oh. I mean, I don't think it's gonna help. I already rolled. It was a 4.
In fact, no, it doesn't. Does anybody want to use XP to help her out here?
I mean, I have 3, but
Okay. So you kind of lurch as the boat suddenly pulls to the side. You go the other way and suddenly are rolling across the water for about 10 feet before you kind of stop and start to sink. That hurts. You take 3 points of damage from your might pool.
No, that's not what I meant to do.
At this exact moment in the shop in town, Isaac and Corin are just Corin's just without looking up from work or anything, just like, how you think they're doing? No, that's fine, probably.
I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine.
So does Quinn swim?
I honestly haven't even thought about it.
The answer's yes. The answer's yes. The answer's
If
yes.
she does or not.
Yes.
I have not thought about it. I feel like she probably knows the basics. They probably taught swimming in school. They probably, at least, they know how to like float, tread water.
Doggy paddle.
She's not like out there doing the breaststroke or the backstroke or any of those moves. But she knows how to tread water. Yeah, maybe a doggy paddle.
Nell's going to start cursing and stop the boat immediately. And very
It's
upset
harder
with
to
herself.
do
driving.
actually because you've
Oh,
got the
right.
nos going and you're just kind of like stop.
Stop,
And
stop, reverse.
You're hitting the
nos.
brakes. You can't. You drop the anchor,
Reverse
and it's
nos.
just. That's the next project. But it takes about 5 minutes before the boost wears off fully. Well, not 5 minutes. Probably more like a minute, as Quinn is just floating there.
Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
Um,
I'm gonna help her back into the boat.
she's just like lay flat at the bottom of the boat when she pulls her in. It's like I didn't throw up.
No, you didn't throw up.
I mean, the boat
pretty
kind of
cool, though,
threw you
right?
Just
up.
like a thumbs up. Just we really gotta put some seatbelts in here. Really gotta work on that.
I'll think about it.
So, back in the boat, do you try again?
If she's willing to let me try again now that she knows about it. I wasn't expecting it to throw her out of the boat.
No, I'm good. Like that's like my patch is wearing off. I better get.
In that case, we'll return to the dock, and then give it its new paint job. I'm thinking of renaming it. Instead of being the Ramshackle, calling it maybe the Ramshackle Rocket or just the Rocket.
I can do any of those. So you want anything else on it? Like, I don't know, flames or
Flames, definitely. Red
like
flames.
I mean, anything
A
with
smoldering door.
Like on the front,
Like the one that nearly killed us. Right on the front, yeah.
Just a door, okay?
Going the Batman
Explosion.
route. Taking
Yeah.
our greatest fear and making our
Door with
enemies.
explosion.
in a really
behind
big font in memory of Linus on the side.
Rest in peace, Linus.
Linus.
Mm-hmm.
The ramshackle rocket rip Linus.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, she'll definitely work on doing some sweet flames and making it look like they're coming out of the door, like there's an explosion of flames coming off of the door painted on like the front of the boat and then like through the back, and then just the back end of the boat is where she puts Ramshackle, and then underneath Rocket, so that it's like the top half is Ramshackle and Rocket on the bottom.
So you do a little bit of work on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and bounce back over to Corin here. Corin, over the 2 weeks, what have you been up to?
There's a few projects I'd like to work on, and at which I'll tell you about. But also, at some point, despite the fact being grounded, I'm sure we visited my grandmother at some point, and I would like to ask her something.
Okay.
So, however you want to do this, we can talk about the projects, or we can do that conversation first.
What's your grandma's name?
Grandmother's name is Kyra, Kaira.
So I take it that's your dad's mom.
Yes.
Okay.
She's the super knowledgeable one about like magic and artifacts and stuff like that.
Okay. So yeah, in fact, there's a couple times where they're both going to be away at night. So instead of going home, you go to Grandma's house.
Cool. Grandma.
Yes.
There's something I need to ask you about. You know everything about everything.
That's
it seems
true.
like.
I do.
And humble as well.
You get to my age, you got no use to being humble.
It's fair. I've talked to Dad about this and Mom, and they've tried in the past. They've tried to do some kind of more widespread communication that can stretch from like throughout the town and to the neighboring villages, and it just doesn't work because of some kind of mixture of tech and magic mishaps, correct?
That's right, yes.
Do you know any details or anything about it?
Well, once upon a time, Corin, we could talk to anybody in the whole world face to face at any time we wanted to, using our phones. That was truly a wonder of the age, though we all took it for granted. Now, we have to send a telegraph if we want to get word to the next town quickly, or a heliograph if that's not working or the lines are down. in town, of course, you can still use your phone. But my understanding is that something with the fall caused the towers to no longer transmit quite as well as they once had.
So there's some kind of interference.
Radios are the same way.
So it interferes with radios. It interferes with phone signals.
That's
it interferes
right.
with it interferes with pretty much any long-range tech devices.
Yes, I mean, she kind of starts to break down like wave function and how radios work and
Oh,
different
Corin's soaking it in.
frequencies and stuff.
He knows some of it, but he's soaking it in. He enjoys this stuff.
You get the impression that your grandma has like built radio towers and stuff before. Like she might have had some experience back in the day with ham radios or something, and she actually like takes a ham radio that she's got in her closet out, and it doesn't really work as well as it used to. I can talk to somebody in Duluth on this thing, but only if they've got one too. Once upon a time, with a powerful enough antenna, I could get all the way to Australia. Do you know what Australia is?
Yes, it's one of the 7 continents.
I don't know anymore what you kids do and don't know. Sometimes I catch myself thinking that, yes, you should absolutely know what this thing is, howdy doody or whatnot, and now, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, I've taught myself more, and I've learned more from you than I've learned at school, so...
Well, that's fair indeed.
Advice, then, let's just say someone with knowledge of magic and tech, or to someone with extensive knowledge in tech and extensive knowledge in magic, wanted to try and solve this problem, at least for Newcastle and the surrounding towns. Some form of quick communication, quick and easy communication between everybody, similar to cell phones working. Where would you advise us to look first if we were wanting to solve this problem?
Well, you need a pretty decent transmitter to start. That's going to be the first thing you need to get, some sort of transmission tower. There's cell phone 5G towers all over the place if you know where to look, but the ruins of the Twin Cities is probably the best place to start. Big concentration of them. After that, you would need to bring something of that nature home and figure out how to adjust the waves to not be cancelled out by magic, which is in and of itself no mean feat. And then you would need to pair it to some sort of device like a phone or tablet, and then it might work, but it would take a lot of work, Corin. Are you sure you're up for it? Or is this all just a hypothetical?
Yes, to both of those questions. I've recently had something spur me out of my generally lazy demeanor. Not completely, as I'm sure you are aware, but this is something I've been thinking about for a while anyway. I feel like there has to be a solution to it. It worked once before. That means it can work again.
Well, yes,
Nothing.
One would hope.
So, one of the transmitter towers, I'd need a device that can read transmissions and waves.
Some sort of computer, yes.
Phone or a tablet. Are there any nearby towers?
No, we've already harvested most of the things nearby. You would need to go west into the wildlands, or you could cross the river into whiskey territory, but that seems a little risky. And then, like I said, there's the city, or you could try to purchase one from one of the scavenging outfits. There's one person in town who might have a better idea than I do. The librarian, what was her name? Wilma Rogers, I believe.
Oh, yes. I've talked to her before, but she might know something about
You might
Where I
have an
could maybe-
idea of where to start looking.
more easily obtain a good transmitter from a tower.
Yes.
Okay, so transmitter, phone or tablet. Everything else, I or whoever probably has it in their shop.
Likely. I don't know if there's anything else you'd need, since we've never been able to make it work before.
Well, I was recently able to, with help, create something that's never really been created before. So I'm kind of feeling like I want to try something else. And if it'll help the village or the town.
Well, alright. Good luck with that. And does that mean that you intend to continue with your errand of becoming a scavenger after you graduate?
I believe so. I don't see any other way I can do these things by joining the military or anything, as much as Dad wants me to. Did he tell you that he told me he was proud of me?
Oh, yes. He was very proud of you, as was I.
Well, of course. It's just he's never said it before. So, to me, to my face.
Hard not to after what you did.
He still got grounded.
You broke the rules. Your father's a man of rules. I wouldn't have grounded you, but, well, different times.
I mean, all it is I have to go to work or stay in my room and work, which is what I do normally anyway.
You need to get out more.
I saved people. I'm a big damn hero, Grandma.
Indeed you are. But you can't stay in your room all the time. Need to go on dates.
Not from lack of trying. The first one, not the second part.
What about that Quinn girl? She seems nice.
What have you been up to, Grandma? And I
She
feel like
launches into
that's where it just tapers off at that point.
launches into a long, long explanation of the intricacies of the local bridge club.
Corn listens. He likes talking to his grandmother. Because in the boring stuff about the bridge club, she also keeps throwing in like interesting facts of stuff that he either didn't know or finds interesting. So that's all I wanted to talk to her about.
Okay.
Now I have an idea of how to put us in real danger later. So that's always good. So that was my dog. So the things
Not want you to put us in danger. You can't put us in danger. I'm sorry. Dart says no.
the things I wanted to work on. The first thing I wanted to work on, which is something I doubt I finish in this 2 weeks, I think it's just kind of an ongoing project of mine, is I am trying to upgrade my rifle with the assault rifle, or not assault, the fully automatic rifle that I found, and I am trying to upgrade it to where if I choose to, it's like normal. It fires the one bullet at a time, but it's lever action. I am trying to set it to where if I choose to, I can load 2 bullets in the chamber and fire them both at once, and they fire one right after the other. However, the downside in doing that is I would want to use I have to use an action if I do that, and an intellect point to clear the chamber completely for use. If I wanted to continue if I wanted to use it in the next round. So it's got a downside, but it's got a cool thing that I can choose to do if I want to sacrifice a turn later or something.
So a double shot kind of thing.
A double shot, not every time, but yeah, if I choose to do it, it's a double shot. But if I do choose to do it, it's going to cost me an intellect point to fix it the next turn.
Your assault rifle has single fire, burst fire, or full auto. So.
Right, I'm basically trying to take that part and add it into my lever action rifle. Trying to upgrade that. Again, I don't know if that's something I can complete in 2 weeks or if that's just an ongoing project, because I do have other things that I feel are more important than that. But
Yeah, that's going
something...
to take some time since the parts don't align perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I
They're
thought.
different
Is like
brands.
it's doable, but it's one of those things that's going to take a little bit. The other things that I think I could maybe get started on or done with. One was for Isaac. I'm making something for each of my friends.
Okay.
So for Isaac, I'm making him basically a monocular device, kind of like what you see jewelers use. You know, you use it to magnify so you can work on small details or small objects, and it provides a little extra light. But it has the magnification settings. But it also, you can switch it between regular, X-ray, or magical detection, so that he can focus on detecting magic or like intricate magic in ruins or something like that.
Okay.
The thing he would need help with is he knows how X-rays works and he knows how magnification works, but he doesn't know magic, so there's no way he could put like magical detection on it. He would need help with that. So essentially what I would want to do is I would want to get it ready with the magnification and the X-ray option, and then basically take it to Isaac and be like, without letting him know it's a gift, would just be like, hey, I've been working on this for myself. All I need is it to add an option to where you can detect magic with it. And then when Isaac's finished with it, and be like, cool, this is a present for you. Here you go. This will make working on things a lot easier. So that's one thing.
So that is going to be a little bit more complicated because of actually something that Isaac was looking to do was a magic detector as well. Mm-hmm. And you have to figure out some way to detect magical material, which, given your broadcast project that you are sort of wanting to take on, it's something that could be a pretty good long-term goal for you.
Mm-hmm. It's something that, well, I feel like I could finish. That's the thing, is I feel like I could finish the magnification and the X-ray part of it, and then it's the magical thing that'll be like, this is what we're doing. So actually what I would like to do is to do that and then give that to him and tell him what I'd like to add to it for him. And then also I'll be cluing him in on the project because I'll need his help on it as well. And being like, it's kind of a double-edged sword. We can figure out this communication thing and we can also figure out magical detection.
Okay.
So I figure I could get the monocular device, the magnification and the X-ray and the light thing done.
The X-ray part will be a little trickier, but you do know that the Castle Guard has monocular range-finding devices that you could probably snag one without them missing it.
I'm going to want to snag one or two because the project I have for Quinn is she always uses her binoculars. And I wanted to get her, and they seem like they're just regular, like they're regular old binoculars. So I want to get her some that has adjustable magnification, but also I want to tinker with it and change it to where it can either view regularly or you can switch it to night vision or infrared vision, which he knows how night vision and infrared works. Night vision is just you collect the little bits of light that is hard for the eye to see and you amplify it, and infrared is you take the infrared and the ultraviolet lights from the spectrum and you magnify those to where they're the only images that you see. And he wants to put those to where those are an option in her binoculars, and just those would be her new binoculars, magnification binoculars, and she can switch to night vision or infrared or regular if she wants.
Okay.
So he'd want to snag a couple of those things so he could work on both those projects.
Yeah, you can probably get those pretty easily, or Grandma might even have one just laying around that she'll let you have.
We'll say I probably told her about all of these projects, and if she had anything, she would help me out with parts and stuff. The other thing is Nell's, and I'm making Nell a face mask that is very ninja and pirate-esque a little bit, because I know she likes pirates, but also ninjas are cool. However, what this is going to do, and this is why I asked her if she could breathe in water, is it's going to be a mask that repurposes the moisture in the air and allows her to take that in and kind of reoxygenate it so that she can breathe. And it basically gives her a second wind I have it to where if she wants to use it, it costs like 2 intellect points and an action to use, and she can roll like a d4 or a d6 and regain however much to her might or her speed pool. But it costs intellect to use.
It's like a personal NOS.
Essentially, it's more like I
It's
picture it as it gives her.
inhaler.
I picture it as it gives her an extra rest, but without the plus that the rests give you. Like the rest, you roll a d6 plus whatever. This one's just a straight d6 or d4, and it has to go to your might or your speed pool because it costs intellect to use.
That's cool.
And I was like, Nell, you never uses her. No offense, her intellect anyway, so you won't be running low on it. But it's to help her breathe. It's to help her breathing issue. So it's to give her like, if it's starting to affect her or something, or she needs a rest, she can use an action and repurpose some moisture in the air and get an extra thing. I also have it to where it can only be used like once a day because it's not something that should be spammed.
Yeah.
Game wise.
Okay. So during the week that you have after doing the gun project with Isaac, you can focus on one of these 3 things. Which one would you like to focus on?
So I can focus on one. Can I say I get the parts for all of them just so they can be there? Okay.
You find actually that people are treating you a lot differently since the incident at the church, with the exploding goblins. You're getting better prices in town. The quartermaster at the supply depot is kind of like looking the other way when you need something.
I think I'm going to hold off on the Isaac thing because we're going to be really researching the magic stuff. And I feel like I can get that one kind of in my free time. Sure. So I'm trying to decide, do I want Nell or Quinn's? Quinn's would be the binoculars, Nell's would be the fence. Which one of those would be easier to accomplish?
The binoculars or the mask?
Yeah.
You're looking at about even.
Oh, okay.
I'll set the difficulty on the binoculars with all the parts that you have access to. That's going to be about a difficulty 6. The mask, I would actually say, is probably a little easier for you, difficulty 5, since essentially you're just making a caffeine booster. Adrenaline shot.
I'll make the mask because Nell hasn't been feeling that.
Respirator.
Nell hasn't been feeling that great, and also it's an actual condition. It's an actual medical condition, so anything that can help out. Especially if we're going to start going out and doing more stuff, which Corin has a feeling that we are. So he'd like to do what he can to make his companion ready. Although I will say, these are essentially like, these are goals of mine now. Like, it is a goal to finish like each one because they're very important, and he wants them for his friends because he knows that they could help his friends out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the mask.
Okay. So it's at a difficulty 5 to start.
All right. Definitely Tinker.
Yep.
Because a mask is not
4.
supposed to do this. I would say either engineering or the predictive equation, whichever one would.
I'll give you engineering.
Okay. And I believe that's all I can lower it by 2, and then that's it.
So we got a 3 difficulty on this then.
All right, so 12 or better, 9 or better.
Yep.
Nope, we're not gonna
be
roll
a 10.
that.
What'd you get?
At a 11.
I was close. It takes you the better part of the week and several failed prototypes to get it, but you're able to repurpose an old full face diving mask into what it is that you're looking to do. You kind of cut the bottom part off and re-insulate it and everything.
Yeah,
Looks pretty badass.
I was like, knowing Nell's aesthetic, I'm also trying to make it look badass, but not losing any of its function.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The only other things that I'd want to do is how much in free time, like while Isaac was gone or while we weren't working on the gun, how much work can I do on the car?
You get a little further with it, salvaging parts and stuff from wrecks that get brought in. You're able to get a little further along with it, but it's
How close am I?
Probably a few weeks.
I'm
Weird.
gonna be dedicating a lot of my time to that in the last 2 gifts. But all right, so I got the gifts, the rifle, and the car that I'm still working on. All right, then the only other thing that I'm gonna take time up is I want to show my father the gun, because you said this is something that's not really been done, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
I want to show this to him because I feel like this might be something that he might want to look into military-wise for protection, because Corin is finding out for himself it is quite dangerous outside, what with the giant snake he's encountered, what with the goblins.
Yeah.
He's taking a more... He's still lazy. He still doesn't want to do stuff very often, but he's taking a more... He's learning he needs to take stuff a little bit more seriously. So I would like to, maybe at one point, kind of just ask my dad, I don't know, maybe at dinner or something, and be like, Dad, do you have any free time right now or anytime soon?
It depends what you need me for.
I assume this shocks the hell out of him, me asking him if he's got time for something. I need to show you something that I've worked on. Actually, that Isaac has also helped me work on. I think it's something that you would be interested in.
All right, let's see it.
We need to go outside. It's gun related. Sorry, I should have led with that.
Oh, yeah, let's you want to go to the range? Let's go to the range. Come on. He grabs one of his rifles.
Is the range a place where I could shoot a shatter bullet and not worry about it just taking a bunch
Probably
of
not.
stuff?
Yeah, you'd probably be fine with it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go. I grab my rifle just because I always grab my rifle, but I make sure to grab the pistol.
And as you're walking out, he's, Ani, we're going to the range. Doesn't wait for a response. But you hear from behind the closed door as you're heading down the hallway. What?
I lean my head back in as he walks to the van, and I go, Mom, if he comes back without me, you know who did it. And I just
So as Corin heads to the range, I think that's a very good point for us to take our break this evening. So we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes here. Stick around, and we have more fun adventures with the party after this. We'll see you in a minute.
Nice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to After the Fall, the best post-apocalyptic RPG on Twitch. We have not done the research to back that up. Don't quote me on it, but it is true. So, we were leaving off with Corin taking his father, the general, to the firing range to show off the shatter gun that he and Isaac created. So, Corin, you get to the firing range. It is, it's kind of late at night now. There's not really a lot of people here. There's a couple people just kind of chatting, but they see the general. They stand up, they salute. He returns it. He says, well, you know, son, you've never really wanted to come out to the firing range with me. This is a little unusual, but I can't say it's unwelcome.
I mean, you told me you were proud of me the other day. I thought I'd do something weird as well.
All right.
Can you, How many other people? Like 2 people here?
Yep. They're just having a cup of coffee.
Can you tell them to leave?
Why am I telling them to leave?
It's hard to explain. But can you trust me?
He whistles and motions for them to take a hike, and they quickly get their coffee and go.
Corin kind of just mutters out loud. He's like, "Oh, so that's what it looks like on this side of it." All right. So I find a space where I will cause minimal damage with this.
I mean, it's hard to tell what kind of damage you're going to do with this because
Judging by the shatter that I saw my friends do.
Okay.
I go okay, and I assume it's weird to him when I put my rifle down and pull the pistol out.
That's different. Okay.
Actually, let me show you really quick before I explain what this does. And I hold it up to him and I show him the hammer and like the markings and stuff that we've made on it.
What'd you do to the hammer?
Dad, what do you know about enchanting or enchanted weapons?
Pretty rare.
I take aim and I do want to activate the shatter bullet.
Okay. So as you squeeze the trigger to fire...
As I do this, I say under my breath where no one can hear me, I just go, "Please don't kill me and my dad. Please don't kill me and my dad."
So as you do that, you feel the sudden draining of energy in you as we're actually going to take 4 points out of your intellect pool to utilize
First time I'm
this.
using it. So.
Yeah. And then I would like you to make a
that hurt.
speed test.
Okay.
We're going to set the difficulty for this shot since it's just down the range. You're not really trying to necessarily like shoot the wings off a fly or something. We're just going to set it as a difficulty 2.
Okay. It's my proficiency in firearms.
Yep, so you're at 1.
Okay. It's a 4. What is
The
happening?
trend continues.
What is happening?
So you squeeze the trigger, you feel that draining of energy just kind of roll out of you and through your arm and up into the gun as time seems to slow for a moment as it charges the bullet and then it fires. Doesn't have any different effect, it seems like, as the bullet travels down, hits its target, and then a few seconds later, there's a massive explosion as the front of this hay bale target explodes outward in a shower of hay.
I kind of grab my head and just go, "Ugh."
The hell was that?
I turn back around and I go, "That is... what do you know about magic?"
I mean, I know a bit.
Well, as you know, Quinn is quite proficient in magic, and Isaac has a bit of magic and tech mix. Well, Isaac and I hold up the gun and I go, "Enchanted my pistol. I call it Shattered Plans."
I'm making a note to have that blow up on you the next time you fire it. For that pun. Okay.
It's a dope name. I don't care what you think.
It's an awesome name.
Your dad takes the pistol from you, or he holds out his hand for you to hand him the pistol.
I hand it to him and I say, it only enchants the bullet when you want it to.
So he kind of takes it and he fires off a couple of rounds down the aisle at the next target. Nothing happens. So how do you want it to?
I try and explain to him the best way. I explained to him what the shatter looked like and felt like when I experienced it for the first time. and kind of what my mind was going through when I fired it just now for the first time. And I said, you have to concentrate and feel it in your hand, as well as be thinking about what you want the bullet, what you want the shatter, what you want to happen with the shatter. So you kind of have to visualize where you're hitting and what's going to happen, and you also kind of have to feel it in your hand. It's hard to explain. I'm not magical. You know that. This is different for me. But I think that should work for you, unless when Isaac and I enchanted it, we enchanted it strictly for my biorhythms.
So he takes it and he kind of takes a deep breath, lets it out, squeezes the trigger, and the same thing that happened for you happens. He kind of like almost falls to the side slightly as it seems to pull even maybe more energy from him as the bullet rips down, hits the target, and it explodes outwards, leaving nothing behind. That packs a punch. A little bit of recoil, though. Oh,
It does, but I imagine, much like my friends casting and their ability with magic, is the more you get used to it, the less draining it becomes.
maybe. He sets it down and goes over and gets a cup of coffee from the little machine that they've got. Not actually coffee, it's some imitation coffee that they've managed to scrounge up from roots and herbs.
Is he getting
they
two, or
call
is
it
he just
coffee.
getting one?
You see him kind of think about it for a second, and as he turns back, he sees you, and then he turns back and pours another cup and brings it over.
Oh, thank God.
So what are you doing with this? This is powerful, destructive.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, part of it was curiosity. I saw them use their shatter spells when we were rescuing the twins. And you know me, I like to tinker. Isaac likes to tinker. Thought we'd give it a try. But also, I mean, the world outside is dangerous. And if I'm going to be with my friends or with anybody, I want to be able to do more or protect them or something like that. The reason I'm showing you is because if this is something that can be done even with practice or anything, I mean, this might be something to consider military-wise for a select few or for everybody. Because as you can see, it's not something you have to do every time. So it's not like you're firing a bunch of bullets that are just gonna start blowing stuff up. There's control to it, as there should be. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it.
He kind of sets a hand on the pistol. Can I borrow this?
At what point in the 2 weeks is this?
It's about a week and a half at this point. Just for a few days.
I get it back, right?
You do.
Okay, good, because that's like a lot of work went into that. But sure, what are you gonna do with it? Sure, you can borrow it, but what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna have some of the Order of Mysteries kind of take a look at it, see if they can't replicate it.
All right. Like I said, John's the one who did the enchantment. I was just there to lend him help on the
Who's
tech
John?
aspect, or Isaac. My head still hurts from the thing.
His middle name is Sean.
Isaac Jonathan Patterson. That's
go.
now part of the canon.
Oh.
Put it on the wiki.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of name. Yeah, I just thought, I don't know, maybe you could utilize this to, I don't know, protect more people or something.
It's a possibility. You are much more clever than you apply yourself to be.
I've been told.
Well, let's, why don't we drink this coffee and shoot some normal rounds, huh?
It's good. I think I'm done with the special rounds tonight
No,
until I get a little bit better with it.
I can't blame you there.
But now you see why I asked you to ask them to leave, because
Well, So you have a actually rather pleasant night at the firing range with your father.
Cool.
We're gonna bounce back up over to Isaac. Did Isaac have anything else that he wanted to accomplish in the 2 weeks?
Well, the first week was made up of inventing fantasy NOS and making a shattering gun. And then most of the second week was just on the collapsing pike. So probably just focusing on school and making sure that he's all set up to graduate.
Yeah, they are very excited for that because you are, in fact, easily going to graduate. You have one of the highest GPAs in the school, not the valedictorian, sadly.
Yeah, let's not be too hasty.
All right, so we'll go back around the circle here then to Nell. Anything else in the 2 weeks for Nell?
You're muted.
You're
again.
muted.
Apologies. Stuff was happening around me again. I don't think there's anything else that Nell needs to do.
Okay.
She might try to get Corn out to the boat to show him the NOS, or at least tell him about it at school.
But the next time they see each other is when he'll give her the mask, probably.
Okay. So towards the end of the 2 weeks, there's a point where Corin and Nell are at school together and without Quinn or Isaac.
Do you want a present?
What? Sure, I love presents. What is it?
Cool.
Is it a cookie?
How's the boat? I asked her if she wanted a present, and now I'm just talking about something else, kind of like intentionally. How's the boat?
The boat's great. Isaac came out and gave it an awesome super boost. We're calling it NOS. But basically, it can go super fast.
Do I recognize the name Nos from my history knowledge?
Yeah, you do.
You reinvented Nos
But he did.
for a boat? How does
Well,
that?
we have the race.
Have you tested it out?
Oh, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's fun. Quinn fell out of the boat, but she's fine.
lead with that second part? That she's
She's
fine.
fine.
How fast does it go?
Like 3-4 times faster.
How many boosts do you get?
3. I haven't tried using them all at once yet.
Don't.
Please do not.
Don't.
Oh no.
Did he reinforce the boat? Did you reinforce the boat at all? You didn't, did you?
That would have been a good idea. Should have had you come.
I wouldn't have been allowed to come, but it's actually a good.
Hindsight.
It's actually a good thing I didn't, because I wouldn't have had time for this. And I reach into my bag, and I toss her the mask.
I catch it. Do I even recognize what it is?
I doubt it.
It looks like half of an
Cool.
old scuba mask.
Yeah, you recognize it as like a really badass looking scuba mask.
A scoop. I can breathe underwater. You asked me, remember? Did you forget?
I did, but also knowing about your breathing condition and how sometimes it affects you when we're out, and despite my wishes against it, I feel like we're going to be out a lot more in the future. So I made this for you. So this is why I asked about your breathing underwater. This takes in moisture in the air and repurposes it for you. So if you are ever at a point where you need to recover, whether your respiratory condition is acting up, if it's acting up, that's the ideal time to use this. But even if it's not, and you find yourself in need of a quick recovery or something, that'll do it.
Cool.
And I tried to make it look as, like, badass as I could. Which, it was a scuba mask, so it already looked pretty cool.
She's going to put it on immediately and then ask, How do I use it? How does it work? Is there a button?
There's no button.
Do I will it to do the thing?
There's no button. You essentially have to concentrate on the mask, because this is why you don't want to wear it all the time. So when you put it on and you kind of connect it into your mouth, you'll have to concentrate because you'll have to take a pretty deep breath. But when you concentrate and take the deep breath, you should feel it happen. This is going to cost her... I told you how many intellect points it costs. I don't know if the first time she uses it, if it's going to cost her more. But she's going to feel it, but she'll also get her recovery thing. So concentrate and take a deep breath once you put it on and put the thing in your... put the mouthpiece in.
I don't know if there's much point for her to try and use it right away. Unless she's going to just recover.
If she doesn't have anything depleted from her pool, would she
No,
still
she's not
be able to
depleted,
feel
no.
like the effects and understand what it does? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give it a try then. Try to use it.
Actually does seem to help with your breathing quite a bit.
Yeah, if nothing else, if it doesn't recover, it'll help her with breathing, so.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Corin.
No problem.
And she's gonna almost go for a hug and then stop, and then just sort of do that thing where she drapes himself around his neck instead.
Oh, good. This is less awkward. I'm working on something for Quinn and for Isaac as well. Yours was kind of the easiest one to do. It didn't require a lot of parts. Just
Awesome.
more of a knowledge of how you take in water to help you breathe.
That's cool. What do you need to do for the other two? What needs to be done? What can I do?
I don't think there's anything you can do. I can tell you what I'm working on. How good is Nell? This is outside of game. How good is Nell at keeping secrets? Because Corin would know.
Nell's decent enough.
Ryan, how good is Nell at keeping secrets?
Nell keeps tons of secrets from her dad. She'd be pretty decent at keeping secrets.
How good is Nell at keeping secrets from people she likes?
Not, that's up to Clarity. What do you think, Clarity?
This is out of character, so it has to be an honest answer because Corin would know how well.
I think Nell would be good at keeping secrets. I mean,
There you go.
if it's a bad secret, like you're keeping a secret that's actually a bad thing, she might betray that. But if this is like a surprise gift, she's all in for that.
I'm working on a
loves
huge
surprising
transmutation circle around the city, and once it is complete, I will pull power from the heavens. No.
Okay, Full Metal Alchemist.
That's what I was going. Trying to bring my mom back. For Quinn, I'm working on a better pair of binoculars that can also do night vision and infrared vision. And for Isaac, I'm working on you know how jewelers and stuff have the little kind of magnifying eyeglass thing?
Yeah.
I'm working on one for him,
so.
but one that can also X-ray and detect magic, which that one is going to take a little bit because I don't know how to detect magic. I'm going to need his help with it.
Well, I can't help with that. I can get stuff for you if there's anything that I can get for you.
I think I have did we say I had everything I needed for what I could do?
Yeah.
I've already gathered things. You forget, my parents are military. I swiped things.
In that case, if you need me to distract them at any point, I can do that.
I mean, maybe. Actually,
Redirect their attention.
I'm not gonna turn that down. I think we're fine right now, but I might call that favor in at some point.
I am going to basically.
Oh god.
I'm basically going to brag about how awesome my friend Corin is now.
He's gonna love that.
This is my best friend, Corin. We're the bestest of best friends. Have you met my best friend?
It's funny you say that, though, because ever since you rescued the Jorgensen twins, your stock at school has gone way up to the point where there are, like, underclassmen who are watching you pass in the hallways and awe, whispering to each other, but in a good way now. And the teachers are all kind of giving you a bit more favorable time, which has led to a little bit easier time for some of you than you maybe were having in some of your classes. You've even been actually talking with some of the popular kids.
I haven't even gotten detention at all this week.
Weirdest week ever.
Weird flex, but okay.
I wasn't told to wake up any. They just kind of let me sleep during class. It was weird.
So let's bounce over to Quinn. Anything else you would like to do?
I think Quinn actually at the beginning of the weeks would have probably tried to convince Nell to come with her to talk to Philip about the sword, because that was supposed to happen the day after we did the salvage
Right.
thing, but
Forgot about Phil.
that didn't happen. And she would probably just want an excuse to go talk to him
Okay.
about the sword.
Sure, we can go talk about the sword.
Who would want an excuse to talk to Phil, Nell or Quinn? There you go.
So,
To talk to Phil or talk to
unfortunately-
Phil about the sword?
I plead the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
You stopped by there on Friday and before you head home for the weekend, and there's nothing. There's no.
Phil died
Philip
35
is-
years ago.
Phil is not around, so he seems to have departed for Lake Krogal without you.
Oh no.
However, you do run into Sir Henry.
And Sir Henry is in relation to Phil, one of the squire dudes, or an
He's
older
one of the
dude?
knights.
Okay.
Hello.
Is Philip here?
No, he took some of the lads and went fishing for the weekend.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh
don't
well,
worry.
we tried.
He'll be back on Monday. Provided a giant crab doesn't get him or something.
Yeah. Wait, are there giant crabs in the lakes?
Oh my, yes. Have you not seen them?
I
They're giant.
I guess I must have missed that. Another thing for me to be worried about while I'm in the
15
water.
feet tall. I cracked one of their
Nothing to worry
claws
about.
myself.
Is he? She'll lean over to Nelly. Is he serious that they're that big?
Insight
Oh,
check
yeah, they're-
wrong game.
They're pretty big, but they're territorial, so as long as you don't get too close to them, you're pretty much fine. Of course, the difficulty thing is spotting them, because sometimes they just look like giant boulders.
Okay. Maybe we need to discuss some crab safety on the boat.
Weave around them, you'll be fine.
Okay.
We've got the super mask now, remember?
Well,
Can't catch us, we're slow.
Well, I'll be sure
Quinn's
to
very
tell them that you stopped
disappointed.
by.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you don't have to. It's
What's your name?
It's Quinn.
Right, lass. I'll let them know that you stopped by. And what's your name?
The Iron Bandit.
It's a weird name, kid. But I like it. Alright, Quinn and the Iron Bandit. I'll let Philip know you stopped by.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. He shuts the door. Rather appropriate sound effect for the door shutting.
Thank you for the Foley
Thank you,
work
Thomas.
to your cat.
So Monday comes around. Does Quinn go back to visit Philip after school on Monday?
She'll check in to see.
You take Nell with you?
Probably. She's too shy to go on her own.
Okay.
Now we'll go.
Especially since he approached Nell in the first place about the sword, not Quinn. So she's like, this is her in.
Isaac and I are never going to meet Phil. Never.
Well, it depends. The inn is on the way to Isaac's house, so if you're all walking that direction together, it's up to Aaron.
I mean, I got to talk to Isaac about stuff anyway, so.
No, she should just say it to Nell. She'll be like, "Oh, no, I think Philip's supposed to be back today. Do we want to see if he found the sword?"
Sure.
Who's Philip
Why
and what
not?
sword?
Wait, do you forget the? Did we tell them last
did.
week?
We were gonna
Oh,
help
yes.
him, but
You
We
did.
were gonna help.
I'm sorry, things have
Look for us.
happened since then.
Yeah.
it's just Phil.
We're just gonna see. I think he went to the lake last week without us, so maybe we could see if he found the sword.
I mean, do you want us to go with you to see?
I mean, if you're curious about a sword,
If you found it, it's an ancient magical artifact.
it could be pretty cool.
That
If you found
Isaac's
it.
ears kind of twitch when he hears magic, like magical. Ding, ding, hmm?
I mean, maybe. I mean, they think it's magical. I don't know if it is.
it might be worth checking out.
Well,
Onwards.
as you approach the bed and breakfast, the Mariner's Rest, you get to the door, knock, and as it opens, it's a lot rowdier than the last couple times you've been here when it's only been one or two people. It seems the entire order of the Knights of Snellian are currently here and in session, and Sir Henry does, in fact, answer the door. Oh, it's Quinn and the Iron Bandit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
And are these your merry men?
They're are you guys married?
Not even the right fairy tale.
Do you? I don't know if they're married or not. They are, in fact, men, as
They
far as I
are.
know.
They don't look terribly merry.
My whole
Can
life.
be sometimes jovial.
I'll take it.
I mean, situational merriment. Really,
Not very much.
Just like all of us.
right?
You're here to see Philip then, right?
Yeah.
All right. Come on in. Just don't mind the mess.
What is going on?
Everyone's back at the same time. Doesn't happen often, but
Oh,
everyone's arguing about where to go next. It's exciting.
okay. Nothing. Didn't
Philip!
find anything. Okay. No.
So as Sir Henry kind of heads back into a large room with the table that had all the maps on it, there's a number of the knights, the senior members of this order, all arguing with each other as they drink beer or tea, depending on who it is, trying to figure out where to go next in the area to look for the lost sword of Pratchett. Moments later, over the cacophony, you hear, "Oh, hello. Quinn, how are you doing?"
Hi. We were just around and thought, to see. Did you find it?
Unfortunately not.
Oh.
I tried, and I wasn't very good at diving, as it turns out, but I'm getting better. I'm not writing it off entirely yet. I was very sad that you and your friend couldn't make it, but I understand why. You saved those girls.
Yeah, we did. But I mean, no. She would be great at diving.
Is that so? Are you a diver?
I mean, in a manner of speaking, I suppose. Don't need all the fancy suit and stuff, though.
Oh, really? I mean, that would be very useful. What are those gills? Blimey, that is certainly something. And I don't think we've met your friends over here, Mr. Elf, Mr. Dragonkin. I'm Philip.
I'm Corin Wisedale.
Isaac Patterson.
Nice to
What
meet
is
you,
my-
Mr. Patterson in Wisevale.
What is my father's opinion, or military opinion, I guess, of the knights?
Who's your father?
No, I'm asking the DM.
He thinks that they're crackpots, but they're harmless, and they've been very helpful to the community.
Okay, so I've probably heard some mixed reactions from him about them.
Everybody has an opinion about the Knights of Pratchett and their quest to find the lost sword of Pratchett.
All right, if he dislikes them, I probably give him a little bit of a grin. Just
Clarity, did you have a question?
I just want to say, considering that we've learned that he did not find the sword, now is going to leave the conversation and start bothering the other knights, just for the hell of it.
Okay.
no, never mind.
Nope.
Nope. She's gone. She's gone. You know how it goes.
Are you planning to return to the same location, or?
Hopefully, eventually.
Isaac, why don't we follow Nell? Isaac, come on. Why don't we follow?
No,
I just
you
grab
guys
Isaac.
need help.
I just
You
grab
guys
Isaac.
know how to-
No, it's too late. I grab Isaac. I'm a dragonkin. I'm bigger than all of you. Like, just by nature, it happens.
Corin might as well carry me over his shoulder.
I just pull him over, and I was just like, they might have other magical things to talk about. You know.
Oh, they seem like good lads.
They're very smart. They, if you need technology, or
If you need technology,
they're great.
just in general.
Yeah. Oh, oh, do not like.
Oh, where'd that cat come from? The cat got back in here again.
Oh, just my cat. I carry around in my bag. It's fine. It's gone now.
Then the
Oh.
cat to go play with the dog we keep hearing occasionally.
Well, it was really nice of you to come and visit and check in.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that you're grounded.
Yeah. We're very limited on our ability to leave the house for a couple of weeks. We're all just we're headed to our respective homes and things. But this was on the way, so we just decided to stop in.
Maybe maybe you can come help me with the lake the next time when you're not grounded.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks is roughly that we were gonna be. So at
How
least
far into the 2 weeks is this?
This
This
is the
is-
Monday of the first week.
Oh, wow.
we got like 10
We ain't made
more
a gun
days
yet. I ain't
or
made
something.
the mask.
It's like 10 more days of
That sounds really hard.
boredom. Yeah, I spend a lot of time helping my mom, but
Well, come
Yeah.
say hi when you're not grounded, and we'll figure out when we can go check out the lake.
okay, yeah, I'll definitely check back in if you're headed out there. That would be fun.
Oh, I don't think I'll get much of a chance between now and then. Everybody back at the same time. It generally means we're all going somewhere together.
Oh, so like you're going someplace else soon, or
Probably another lake.
or they're going someplace and you have to stay behind.
I think they might actually take me with this time.
You think you? Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
I
I'm
think Elder Maxwell's really, really taken by my initiative.
to go to the other lake. Yeah.
Yeah. What he called chutzpah, I think is what he called it.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's good. I should probably get grab my friends. I'm sure Nell's causing havoc somewhere.
Oh yeah, you don't want to rile up the knights. It could get messy.
Yeah.
Nell's doing everything in her power to rile up the knights.
I thought she didn't want to cause problems during this 2 weeks.
She's only causing a little bit of trouble.
Problems with
So-
her family.
The way I'm seeing this
She's
is
avoiding getting arrested.
the way I'm seeing this is Nell is like hanging at the back, and as they argue and there's a lull in conversation, Nell is like, "I think we should go to this lake."
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then they don't even pick up on it. It's like, "No, we've been to that lake before. We've never found anything there." So Quinn, the room is in full uproar over something somebody said. As you see Nell kind of cracking up on the side, and Isaac and Corin what are Isaac and Corin doing?
Corin is... I literally just pulled Isaac away far enough to where we could still listen to the conversation, because Corin didn't have anything he wanted to do. He was just getting him away so Quinn could talk. So as soon as the conversation's over, I basically spin myself and Isaac back around, and I'm like, well, that was fun. Can we leave? I'm having sensory overload.
Yeah, let's
Cool.
we can go.
1 second, I'm going to go over, and I rarely do this, but I'm going to use my dragonkin size to do what Nell likes to do, and just kind of put my arm around her and be like, come on!
Yeah.
No.
Once go ahead.
Nell, you feel yourself being maneuvered out of the room.
I'd like to make a parting shot and try to instigate a fist fight without anyone looking at me to do it.
And in what manner would you like to try to do this?
I want to try to say something that will pit two specific people against each other based off what I've been hearing in the conversation. Like,
Okay.
try to make it so sound.
I'm going to make this a difficulty 7 right now, because you don't know these people.
Fair.
You can still try. You might
What
get
type
a
of
20.
what type of test is it?
Intellect?
Is there anything that I can use?
I don't know. Is there?
Oh, I have an idea actually.
Boat knowledge.
I am going to use basically I want to make it seem like someone just dumped their beer on someone else by using create water, if I can do that.
It depends what the create water description
Well, create water
is.
has to come up from the ground.
Right.
Maybe that can come up from the ground, but maybe if I can sort of accidentally knock someone into someone else and then make them extra wet. I don't know.
I'm still
No,
seeing a
it's
7
fine.
here.
So many jokes, but I'm not. No, do it, because even if you fail, I think it's going to be funny. In some
I am
way.
going to do it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I can use to make it easier, but I just don't think there is. There really isn't. So we're just going to go for it.
Okay, you gotta roll a 20. Here we go.
4. A glorious 4.
You try to snatch somebody's beer to pour over somebody else's head, and the elderly gentleman that you kind of marked as, this guy will be easy, he grabs it back from you very quickly and says, "Who the hell are you?
I'm
don't-
intended.
You don't belong here." You see, Henry, "What's the Iron Bandit?" "The Iron what?" The Iron Bandits. Granddad, come on, you know. It's a local legend, I think. I don't know. You look too young to drink, lass. Get moving. This is no place for you.
You look too old to drink.
I'm pulling her away.
No.
Still.
And Quinn's like pushing as you're pulling, just like, no.
He doesn't move. He just goes back to the conversation as you are guided
Those guys were
out.
fun.
The street is much quieter than inside the house.
Oh, sweet release.
You might be, but this is obviously I have no abilities in this, but you're creative people. You know what I think that they could use?
You paint.
Well, I creative in a technical, logical format. If you know what I mean?
One more time.
I can't make
one more time?
objects out of things that are of a technology usefulness. My abilities are of a 2D element, or I guess 3D in the form of clothes.
Do you need a hug? Like,
no.
are you okay?
I think that like maybe we could come up with like a really good magnet that could help find the sword underwater.
Is the sword magnetic?
It's metal, isn't it?
Is the
Not all
sword made
metal.
of
Gold's not magnetic.
Is the sword made of iron? Made of high concentrations of iron, cobalt, or nickel?
That's a good question to ask someone else. I don't know.
I mean, swords are typically probably do have enough iron, but it would really depend on.
What
of the
if
lake.
we made a magnet that was very strong? No.
You mean a magnet that was?
What if we made it?
Then Isaac stops for a second. You mean a magnet that was like magic and could attract any kind of metal?
Stop for a second. Stop.
I don't know, a magnet that's very strong. I'm just here to provide ideas, not the follow through.
Magnets, how do they work?
I mean, actually, what you would need is, Isaac, this goes back to what we were discussing, and it's the beginning of the week, and what we were talking about on projects we're working on currently, magic detection. Because clearly it's a magical sword.
Assuming
Supposedly.
and assuming that there aren't any other magical entities within the lake that would make it harder to detect the sword itself.
What if we
Are there
found the
crabs
sword
magic?
before them?
No.
No, I heard that idea.
Nope. I'm not
I
picking
mean,
fights with
we
people who
could have
claim
Philip-
to be nice.
Philip
I'm good. I'm
should
good
be
on
there.
that.
If we're going to be looking for the sword, we should obviously
Nell,
invite
are you going to
Philip.
ruin Quinn's chances with Philip?
What do you mean my chance? I just want to help him find the sword, that's all.
What kind
She
of
just,
friend?
like,
What
starts
kind
turning
of
red.
friend are you, Nell? Or come on.
All right.
Yeah, right.
She probably has no idea. She's probably been oblivious to the fact. Nell just thinks I'm really into this sword.
Did you two make it? Did you two make a date? What's happening? Is there?
Wait, you have a crush on Phil?
No,
Did I pull Isaac?
no, I just want to help him find the sword. We're grounded, so obviously I can't do anything until after we're grounded. That's all. Well, this was after
fun, especially this part.
We'll talk to him again.
This was my favorite part.
Just think about it.
And Phil
Magnets.
sitting in the tree.
I think you're on the right track, but I think instead of magnets, maybe magical detection, which is actually something I need to discuss with you, Isaac, and I somehow feel like you two are going to get caught up in this as well.
I think, well, I have that ability to to scan through things that might be a helpful
Do you?
a magical element of that could detect things.
I think that would. Do either of you or Isaac, have the ability to detect magic?
I just have scan, which I don't know if that does anything about detecting magic of any kind.
Just you two are magical. I'm not, so I'm
It
brainstorming.
reveals its level if I'm scanning a creature or an object. Learn facts about it, energy of that area. You might learn.
Kind of.
So it's kind of magic-ish.
Well, you're gonna have to come along with us then on this
Okay.
thing that I'm thinking about doing at some point. Nell, what can you contribute to the group?
I can make water and I've got a spike on
You
it.
can come. I just wanted to do that too. You can come. It's fine. You're the
She's
toughest.
gonna-
You're the
she's
tougher
gonna-
one. So
Well, we could use your boat. And then if there's those crabs that the guy was talking about, we could use the NOS to get away very quickly.
This
but
is
that doesn't
pre-NOS.
exist.
The NOS
That's
doesn't
pre-NOS.
exist
This is
yet.
pre-NOS.
Well,
We can
never
still use your
the
boat.
to go out.
This timeline is
you know what?
wonky as all hell.
They say people say that you don't put much thought into it, but you really should sign that pre-NOS. It's really important.
Take away an accent.
That should not have been as funny as I thought it was.
But it was.
Apparently.
This is the only reason I'm on this stream.
I'm the
People are
most
so busy
qualified to sail my boat. That's
People are
true.
talking about the pre-NOS so much they
Mhm.
forget about the post-NOS.
That's right. The post-NOS is. That's where it gets you.
Well, as fun as this
Federal offense to mess with the post-NOS.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Does anybody else have anything they want to accomplish in the 2 weeks that you're grounded?
At the end of it, I want to talk to Isaac about what my grandmother said.
Okay. So you have Isaac at the shop. Take away.
Isaac, have you ever given much thought to the fact that communications, even between like the nearby towns, just does not work, except under very, very limited circumstances?
Yeah, it's odd. Like I remember them talking about how easy it used to be to communicate, even with across the world before the fall.
I talked with my grandmother, who, as you know, is like pretty smart when it comes to like magical artifacts. She's in charge of like the supply depot. I asked her if one was looking into something like that, where we would start, and she actually gave me a little bit of information. Do you know those cell phone towers that are kind of littered around the Twin Cities?
Yeah.
Apparently, if we grabbed a transmitter from one of those towers or something, and brought it back to the shop, we would probably be able to figure out my tech knowledge, your tech and magic knowledge, because we would need both. We would probably maybe be able to isolate what is happening and what's interfering with communications. We may be able to come up with a solution to it. Problem is, we have to get to one of the towers and get a transmitter.
Yeah.
And we'd have to get a phone or an iPad or something, which, I mean, they're around, and utilize it. But is that something you'd be interested in helping me with?
Absolutely. We just need to find a time after we graduate, I'm guessing, to head down to the Twin Cities.
Well, there's also a person here that my grandmother pitched to me that I might want to talk to. You know the librarian, Wilma?
Oh yeah.
She said she might know something. So at some point, we might want to stop by and say something to her.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yep. I literally can't do this without you, so... And honestly, Quinn and Nell probably too.
I don't see why not.
I mean, if we're all going to salvage.
We can't try to get some. See if we can salvage some of the old stuffs and make life a little easier.
Well, if I can get this SUV going, this is how we could get there. Maybe after graduation or something. Also, learning this about the communications would probably give us an insight into being able to detect magic.
Oh yeah.
Or creating something for detecting magic.
We now have a mission. Detect magic.
Mm.
First level spell.
I mean, it's kind of a big thing. It's like figure out communications, like figure out how to detect magic. Go talk to Wilma.
So, a couple days before the weekend and your freedom, you know that the Becklop is on Saturday around noon is when it usually starts. And as you're kind of getting ready to leave school for the day and Nell is very much focused on the race. Quinn's focused on possibly having a date with Philip. Corn and Isaac are focused on their projects.
No, she's focused on the sword part. Totally.
Yes, the finding the
trying to help
sword.
him get the sword.
Magnets.
Right.
This is about a sword. This isn't
Sword.
about the cute British boy.
Yeah. So you are approached by somebody that you would probably never have been approached by before you saved the twins. Somebody that you're all very familiar with. Betty Ann Morgan. Betty Ann is part elf. She's got pointed ears. She's very pretty, objectively. And she is one of the most popular girls in school. Her father is one of the town counselors and a business owner, so she's rather wealthy. She even has her own car, a old red convertible that she and her friends tear around the town and villages in. She's also a cheerleader and is currently wearing her rather classic-looking cheerleading outfit as she comes up to you all and says, "Hey, so you're the ones that saved the twins, right?"
Has she in the past been just an absolute horror to us or something, or mean?
Or-
Completely
just like we
indifferent
don't even
to your
exist.
existence, yes.
Okay, so nothing negative, but nothing, certainly nothing positive. All right.
She's not one of the bullies, but she's kind of...
She
above
has
you.
her circle and she sticks to it.
Yep.
Yeah, we help
What
rescue-
heroes do.
Right.
Okay, well.
Heroes. Okay. So... You race in the Becklop, right?
Every year.
She does, yes.
Okay. So... There's going to be a party at the point afterwards, and I got told that I have to make sure that you four are going to be there.
Told by who?
What?
Everybody
Um,
wants to make sure you're coming, otherwise they're not going to come. So are you coming?
We'll think about it.
I need more of a definitive answer than that. Karen.
What's in it for us?
Yeah, that's my name. Got it in one. I just turned to the group and I go, does anybody even want to go to this party?
We can show off how cool we are.
I mean,
You have likely
am I?
attended a party at the point before.
Are they good parties?
It's an abandoned water park.
I remember that.
It's actually right up against the lake that the Becklop ends on.
When you could ask Philip to the party.
Take Philip.
I can't. Well,
Yeah,
we're
sure.
grounded. I can't.
Bring
win.
whoever.
See? Betsy
It's
says you can.
Saturday night.
We're
Yep.
good.
Betty.
Thanks, Becky.
Betty.
Becky, sorry. Nope, yep, got
Betty.
it. Yep.
Betty Ann.
Is it
Okay.
Betty or Ann?
Becky Fran.
Betty Ann.
You have two names?
Yes.
That's
'Cause
weird.
I'm very special.
That's true.
w- uh,
I'm obviously not the face of this group because this is the stuff I do intentionally.
Yep.
I'll go if they go.
Tear up
So
the
you're all
water.
Sure,
coming. That's great. I'm
stop
so
by.
glad to hear that.
We can stop by.
All
Sure.
right. Thank you.
Yep.
Aren't you sweet? Okay.
Will there be
Indeed.
fireworks?
Will there be
Obviously.
snacks? Oh, my one thing, if there's sweets, some.
Yes, there'll be snacks.
Okay, yeah.
What
But-
are you needing to bring, Corin?
I'm sure they'll have everything I need there.
Usually, yes.
See, Barbara's got it covered.
We even have some, beverages being supplied by a certain group from the town who shall remain nameless.
Like lemonade?
Close.
Sure. Let's call it lemonade.
I like lemonade.
Oh, good. So do I. Aw. Okay, I'll see you all on Saturday night. Bye. And she just turns and walks away.
I just, as she walks away, I call out and I go, "Bye, Barbara."
She doesn't even respond.
No, I know I broke it at this point.
Oh,
She turns around and just throws a dagger at you. No.
Right through the heart.
I shoot her with a
She's got
shatter,
gun.
You don't
with
have
a
your
shatter
gun.
bullet.
You're at school. You don't.
I
have
wait
your
till she is
gun.
back with her group of friends and I shoot her with a shatter bullet.
You cut the brakes on her car.
Yep.
have you shared that with
Look,
the rest of the group? or-
Look, she doesn't want to piss me off. I need parts for my car and I don't care what happens to hers.
Yeah, do we know about your gun yet? Have you told us about it?
Oh no.
Would you?
Did you just ask me that?
No, not in character.
Oh, okay.
Out of
No, I guess I
character.
haven't told you. I probably would have. It's just kind of slipped my mind. A lot's been happening. I probably hadn't got a chance to show you yet because it's not allowed in town, and we only just now got ungrounded.
And your dad had it for a while.
Your dad still
Yeah.
has it at this point.
Yeah.
How long's it been since he took it?
It was last night.
Oh, that's fine.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
I feel like
Time
I'd still do that though. Just be like, "Dad, can I have it back? I just got it last night. That's just forever."
I just want to make sure I get it back.
So yeah, I tell you, I go, Isaac and I made improvements to my pistol.
Can I try?
Even if I had it, no. My father has it right now. He's seeing if it can be replicated.
Like, what kind of improvements?
What's your spell called? Shatter?
Yeah.
My bullets can do that if I want them to now.
Oh.
Isaac, yeah, I forgot to tell you. I've tried it out a couple of times. It works great.
That's good to hear.
It is as you thought it would be the first couple times. It was a little draining on me since I've never used magic before, but I think it's getting better. But my dad
I
has
think
it.
Nell would reflexively snap her hand to her arm where she got shot, thinking about how that would feel if it also exploded.
I can choose to make them explode or not.
That's good. That's good. That's scary, but good.
It'll be helpful next time you two get us into some trouble, which I'm sure will be very soon. It's your dreams.
Speaking of my dreams, have I had any good
Look,
dreams like this 2 weeks off?
Corin understands he's also to
Not
blame.
really.
He goes along with it.
I just imagine that she's been so obsessed about getting back to the truck that I just keep continuously drawing and redrawing the truck in my book.
You have also been having the dream about the Twin Cities
Hmm.
more often, but it's...
You told us
That's
about
it. that?
I mean, what's specifically do I see? Do I just see the cityscape and that's pretty much it? In
You
the
see-
Twin City dream?
So what you see is the skylines of both cities
Mhm.
shadowed at nighttime. Stars hanging in the sky above you, a crescent moon, and you're sort of flying between the two of them. There's...
Hold on.
Oh.
Cat stuff.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay. You're flying between the two of them over the ruins of the city, and there's this large building that you're seeing. There's some airplanes nearby it, but this gigantic structure of stone and metal and glass covered in vines and ruinous debris. And there's something in there, something sleeping, something important, but you don't know what. And as you're drawing closer to it, you always kind of reset back to the outskirts of the city and fly the same path over and over.
Okay. I mean, I would let you guys look in my books if at any point.
Has she sketched so you've sketched the tower?
I've probably sketched the skyline and the building.
Does the tower look like anything that I'd know what it was, or?
It's not so much a tower, it's just a massive stone structure. Not tall, but just broad. Easily as big as Newcastle, maybe even bigger.
You're having that dream more often?
Yeah, I mean, it's the combination of that, yeah.
That's funny. I actually have a mission for us once we graduate that requires us to go into the Twin Cities. So
A mission? You're creating missions for us now?
you don't have to come, but you're
Well,
but you're gonna want to.
I've never heard them referred to as missions before. That's kind of new, exciting. Are we?
I feel like it gets people more jazzed about it. You know,
Are we-
it's marketing, really. It's
Like,
She specifically aimed for the road too.
Hmm.
oh,
Trouble with a purpose.
mhm.
All right, did I miss anything?
I'm pitching them going into the Twin Cities after we graduate.
All right.
I am wanting to, and Isaac is wanting to help me basically establish some kind of communication between and throughout Newcastle and with the towns outside of Newcastle and possibly beyond. But as you all probably know, communication just doesn't work like they told us about, like in history class and stuff like that anymore, because of some magical and technical interference. I think I may know a way to fix it, or at least how to find out what's going on. But it requires us to go into the Twin Cities.
Oh, I'm anything to go towards the Twin Cities. I am absolutely down. I would love to see anything near that area. I've been dreaming about that for months.
Well, this mission requires us to go to a cell phone tower or some kind of radio tower.
Okay.
And if you have something that you have to do there, then I don't see why you
We'll
wouldn't check it
we'll
out.
get close. I'm sure.
But this could be helpful for the village, and it could just be helpful. Period. Figuring out what kind of interference is
Mhm.
making it communication unavailable. We could, I don't know, help people out. So
I'm more than interested.
now,
Oh, I'm more than happy to go into the Twin Cities.
how much did you hear me say, or did you hear Twin Cities and you were just, I'm on board and zoned out?
Yes.
That's fine. Fine.
All right. So, as you kind of head home for the day, next day passes without incident. That night, your parents are appeased by your rather good behavior over the past couple weeks, and you are no longer grounded.
Appeased.
You don't
Six.
know if that's because of the Becklop coming up. As far as any of you know, the adults don't know about the races. Otherwise, for sure, they would shut them down. They're not exactly safe. But no one's ever tried to stop them, so... Go ahead.
I was like, has anyone died doing them?
Some pretty gnarly injuries, and in the first Becklop, there was a boat that capsized, and they never found the body of the driver. But that was like 5 years ago, so ancient history, really.
The lake is haunted by that one individual.
And giant crabs, yes.
They're controlling the giant crabs, clearly.
What an episode that will be.
Excuse me a moment, I need to make a note.
You see off in the distance the giant crab wraith.
Yes.
It's just a skeletal,
Or it's
bony,
like half
giant skeleton. There are two skeletons, two giant skeletons.
The giant
half
crab
human,
wraith
half crab.
Yeah.
serves the crab lich at the bottom of the lake.
The crab lich.
You will all be chum. So, as you are all getting a good night's sleep before the backlop, I think that is a really good point to leave it. And next week we will have our race and the after party at the point. So we get to see the ramshackle rocket in action next week. Exciting. Well, not next week, I think.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now, as
Because-
ironically, we've got some scheduling conflicts. That means after the fall, we'll be taking a 2-week hiatus, and then we'll be back for the ramshackle rocket,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which really makes me wish I had just kept going with this last week a little bit, and we could have had the 2-week hiatus, but, you know, it would have made sense, but
It works.
It's okay.
It works out.
It's fine. This was a good episode.
It's all good.
Announcements this weekend. We've got a little bit more paint on Sunday, coming back after a little bit of a gap, and Dungeon Sphere at 7 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. So, players, do you have any announcements you would like to make?
We got our cast all set, and we should be making announcements soon for Dungeons and Dragon types to return as a podcast.
Right.
Tabletop Pokemon RPG series. So we just same story continuing forward, just new system. And then I'm still streaming on Twitch as Storytime Rowan, just trying to get a consistent schedule going.
Awesome. Thank you very much, John.
I have a couple new TikToks out. Go watch them at Writer R. Lee. One is where I talk a little bit about Dark Souls, and the other one is my 1-minute review of Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance for various consoles.
Very cool.
PC.
I'm still doing my solo live streams on Thursdays and Fridays. Those are always at 1 o'clock and go till about 3 or 4 or 5 today if we went really late. But we're playing through the Baldur's Gate 3 in early access now. So
Nice. Good game.
I need to give it a replay. I haven't played it since it first went to beta, and I think it's very different now.
Aaron, any
Nothing
announcements?
new here.
Anything old?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
You make it out of Blighttown? I couldn't catch the most recent stream.
I spent the whole stream trying to fight the spider lady, and I died the whole time. I didn't beat her.
Welcome. Dark Souls.
Yeah, but I got her down to under half, so I know I can hurt her.
Yeah, she's
So-
she's yours. Right where you
Yeah.
want her.
Yep.
She's right where you want her.
Next time I play. I'm gonna get her.
So, before we end tonight, I do want to do our experience awards. I think each of you deserves a couple for accomplishing various goals and stuff throughout the week. I need you to discuss, though, who is the most valuable character this time around.
well, it's the
I don't know-
same
I don't
person
know.
it always is. It's Corin.
I don't feel like I should.
I don't know.
What did I do
No?
this time?
You made so many cool things. I suppose that was you and
That was me,
Isaac?
Isaac.
I'm
yeah,
gonna
Isaac.
I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna say Isaac because I couldn't have enchanted. I couldn't have created Shattered Plans without Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac did also create the NOS.
Created
Yeah,
Isaac.
Nos
Isaac.
is
Isaac,
impressive.
That's
Isaac
right,
created
that's
Shattered
right.
Plans, or he helped me create Shattered Plans. He created the NOS. He created that cool
That's right.
pike.
Mm-hmm.
I think Isaac is in.
Look at it. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Congratulations,
Okay.
Sean. Isaac gets the MVP.
All right.
C.
Can-
Most
can we
valuable player
give-
character.
Can we give Can we give an XP for most like funniest moment? Because I really think Quinn should get it for the whole thing with Philip and all the crap we gave her. Because that was some great role playing of just her being a nervous wreck.
All in favor?
I
So passed. You get an extra experience point, Quinn.
Yay!
Well, we want to thank everybody for watching tonight. We hope that you had fun. I know I did. And yeah, we will see you back here in a couple weeks for the Becklop Creek Race. It'll be a lot of fun. Some people might die. One of them might be Nell. We'll find out. It's going to be great. We will see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Lost the cursor.